Good morning, Central Baptist Church family. Hope you had a great weekend. We are in James chapter 5, the final chapter of James, and we're going to go into 1 Peter tomorrow. And I hope you had a good weekend and enjoyed the church services we had. It was great to be in the Lord's house once again. But here we are. I think I'm going to call this monsoon week, at least what it's supposed to be. Now, the way Oklahoma weather works, they've predicted rain just about every single day this week. It was actually supposed to be raining even now. And so it is cloudy and cool and damp out here, but it could very well be a beautiful sunny week ahead of us, even though it calls for rain every day. That's just how Oklahoma is. But, I'm just going to brace myself for monsoon week, all right? So we are in James chapter 5, and a couple interesting verses here. Starting in verse number 7. So James 5 verse 7. Let's read the verse and then I'll explain where we're going with this. It says, "Be patient, therefore, my brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it until he receive the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh." So basically, James' challenge here is, he's speaking to a persecuted church, and he's telling this persecuted church, be patient in these afflictions and in these difficult times, because God's going to return someday, and our reward isn't on this earth, our reward is in eternity. So he's saying simply, wait on Christ. Your reward is coming. I know it doesn't feel good now. I know it doesn't feel like it might be worth it right now, but just wait. The Lord will return and all will be well. We live in a pretty good age. I mean, obviously 2020 is a terrible year, but we live in a pretty good era. We're very comfortable here, comfortable living. Once things return to normal, you can travel the world, you can see things, you can have fun. But even still, I know a lot of people struggle with Christianity. A lot of people struggle with, is it worth it? A lot of people struggle with all the rules, struggle with the sacrifices that must be made. I mean, some of y'all may have really enjoyed not having services on Sunday, and it's going to be hard to get back, especially to Sunday school and Sunday morning and Sunday night and Wednesday night, and these are minimal sacrifices if we're really honest with ourselves. But we are, as Americans, we're selfish people, and we just like to do what we like to do, and so it makes the Christian life even that much harder when some of the smallest, simplest sacrifices become a great sacrifice. For teenagers, the sacrifices of not going to certain parties, the sacrifices of not having certain friends, the sacrifices of staying pure throughout your teenage years, the sacrifices of seeking God's will for your future, for your college, for your employment and career, instead of just doing what all your friends are doing or doing what maybe makes the most money. For adults, the sacrifices of trying to raise your family in church, the sacrifices of prioritizing God over other things in this world, even sports and good things, wholesome things, but just saying like we have to prioritize God in our life. We have to prioritize the gospel. And James' challenge here is he's saying it's going to be worth it. Just be patient, endure until the end. And so I just want to challenge you, as difficult as life might seem, even if it's a small sacrifice, I get it. Life can be overwhelming and difficult at times, and sometimes you might just genuinely, if we're going to be really transparent, you might ask yourself, is following Christ really worth it? Is it really worth it? And I just want to reiterate what James said here. Be patient. Be patient endure until the return of the Lord, and it will be worth it. I promise you. Just wait on the Lord.